let's just say that we all have children that go forward and have kids. So as someone from 2 Nigerian parents, my kids now meet a person who's got who's a child from 2 St. Lucians. Yeah, they'll be half St. Lucian, half Nigerian. You then go down the tray again. They now meet somebody who's half Jamaican, half Ghanaian. They will then become somebody from 4 different countries. You go down again, it becomes 8 different countries. That melting pot, the reason I asked about, do you then lose with the link back home? How do you navigate 8 different countries in that 3 or 4 generation move?
Now it's already happened.
Yeah.
It's already happened.
The dominant one just...
Sirelli literally just said he did his ancestry DNA and found there is 18 different variations of blood type. So, so what it comes down to is, as parents, guardians and mentors, it's our job to make sure we say to our children, let's take you back or take you to go and see, this is where your grandparents...
You were born here.
Yeah, but this is where your family's from. This is where your great-grandparents are from. This is where your great-great-grandparents are from. And no disrespect to you, Sirelli, I don't want to be saying to the children, and this is the slave ship that we got on. Do you know what I mean? Because I don't think that we should use that to define us. What I want to turn around and say is, actually, this is the royal family that we descended from. Do you know what I mean? This is the tribe that we should be, this is our tribal colors. This is our tribal wear. Do you know what I mean? These are the things that we can celebrate, rather than say, do you know what, this little bad thing that happened, and it weren't little, but this bad thing that happened defined us. No. It just played a part of a much bigger journey. But let's celebrate the greatness rather than focus on the negativity.
So on the point of what you're saying, I know Sirelli, myself, I believe Citrus, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
How many of us have got parents from the same country?
What do you mean? Both sides?
In both sides, your mum and your dad are from the same country.
Yeah.
You have, okay. So Tongo, I take you're the only one who's got parents from different countries, yeah?
Yep.
He's the half-breed.
You're rude, bro.
Very rude.
We apologize.
Do you keep...
You know what I mean?
Do you keep contact with your family on both sides back home as strong, or does one dominate more than the other? Are you more in contact with one than the other?
So one dominates more than the other, but that's because I dominate more on my dad's side, but that's because over here, there's a lot of my dad's side here.
Okay.
So, and they are my generation of cousins, family. We've been integrated with them from I was young, even though I'm the oldest in my generation. But yeah, integrated from when they was born, and we had childhoods together. So they're like my extended now brothers and sisters. But on top of that, they go back to Jamaica, back and forth almost every year. I've been a few times, but I haven't been to my mum's country, which is my mum's fault, just to be clear. Out in her bay face.
You're a big man.
And then on top of that...
Brother, you're going to be half a century soon.
And then on top of that...
Go on.
Top of that, she didn't have much contact with them because they moved, some moved here, some are in Bristol, some moved to Canada, some moved to America.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that are actually in Guyana, she hasn't had the contact with them, so I don't even know who they are.
So, and you know what?
And then,
go on.
Then the generations that would have helped with that, they've passed away quite many years ago. So to get that contact for who knows who they are or knows who they are well, it's just diminished.
And
but it's not impossible.
It's not impossible.
To support.
We are planning to go there because it's my mum's, 70th this year.
Hey.
So at some point she wants to go there for that reason.
Tell her we're coming.
I'm definitely coming.
Indeed. Imagine. My point being though, is I can resonate with what Tongo is saying. Not me personally. I've seen people who can resonate with it, in that there are people in my family who've never been back to Nigeria. Their parents didn't make and this isn't...
Be clear. When you say people have never been back to Nigeria, as in they've come from Nigeria?
All right, so...
Or they're born here?
There's some that were born here. There's some that were born in Nigeria and came as children. So they've never gone back.
Right, okay.
So there's 2 strands of it. Those that were born here, those that were born in Nigeria, came here as, let's say, toddlers or 2, 3, don't know anything about Nigeria.
Right.
The trouble is, and I can only say it more for Nigeria than it is for Guyana. And maybe for Guyana it's the same sort of thing. It's difficult for someone who doesn't know the language, doesn't know the landscape, doesn't know that sort of environment to go back to a country and just be like, oh, I'm Cousin Wally, I want to meet you all. Because you don't, you know what I mean? You don't know nobody.
Sounds like something you did, blood.
Just say I bring this. Just say I bring this. Don't come running.
He came off the plane and stood on the runway. Didn't even go through customs yet. I'm Cousin Wiley from
I'm here. But my
I bring gifts.
I bring gifts.
There you go. But my point being is that if you don't have that link, and this is when I go back to what Tongo's saying. When Tongo's saying about I don't want to say it's his mum's fault. What I would say is that the link to Guyana was not continued. For Tongo to now go back and try and meet everybody who he needs to meet, they're going to look at it like, and it could even be like you go back, if you're meeting a sibling you've never met before, you're not going to suddenly develop a relationship
you don't
with
have
them.
that,
you don't have no relationship with them. No. So I'm going there, yes, we're blood, but we don't know each other. We don't know nothing about each other.
Over there, see, like over here, the generations have developed. So the ones that came to England or Canada or America or whatever have had children. We've integrated amongst ourselves. So even though I have cousins in America, we still communicate. My family in Canada, we still communicate. At least on my mum's side. And they have, so these, my aunts have children and we have integrated. But the people in Guyana, as far as I'm aware, they're of the older generation.
The ones that didn't
So they
leave,
are
innit?
fading fast if they're not faded already.
Yes.
And you have no connections with the youth of it. So
I don't know if there are youth of them.
now there will be, but it's just
There
that
will
you.
be.
Yeah, you just don't know.
And I think the youth of them are also over here, but in Bristol. Because we got family in Bristol and Bath.
No,
So-
I totally hear that because I went to St. Lucia. Wow, it's
Last week.
two Christmases ago now. It felt like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
But when I got there, the family that I remember when I left there when I was young, they still remember me when we were talking everything. But as you say, they're now getting on. They're coming, they're becoming the elders of the family. And the younger generation, when the elders were like, oh, come over and say hi to your cousin and this and the other.
They're like, hi.
Yeah, they come in.
Walk out of the room.
And then they're gone. Because as far as they're concerned, I'm just some
Man from
Englishman
England.
who's...
They're not from them, aren't they?
No, that makes perfect sense because once again, if we do not work on building and maintaining a relationship, then how are we expecting it to form?
You go back every 4 or 5 years, you're just another guy, innit? And so I totally understand that. And I try to keep that connection going and I try to keep that, and this is something I would admit and put my hands up. The stresses of the UK sometimes overpowers you because it's so easy to be in a group and say hi, but then a week goes past and nobody says hi and then the group goes quiet. And then 2 weeks go past and then something happens and you say hello and they're on the other side, oh you remember me? And they're very much on my family, I can't talk for anyone else, but they're very much in the Caribbean. If you're out in the UK, there's money in the UK. So you must can send me some.
Yeah.
Even if it's not a lot, you must can send me something. When you've got 25 cousins all with that same attitude, you must can send me something. I would have to win the lottery to feed everybody a little drink here and a little drink there. And I understand because the Caribbean is expensive. When you're here and you go out there, you then learn how expensive things are. And one thing that's predominant in St. Lucia, and I can't talk for the rest of the Caribbean, they have, the internet is a blessing and a curse because they are now seeing these things that people are doing in the big cities, having jobs where they're influencers and that kind of stuff. And they're now taking us on board that I can do the same thing in the Caribbean. Now, the difference is in the Caribbean, you have a much smaller population. If I Google something, somebody from Dominica or Guyana or Nigeria is not going to come up on my feed as someone that I'm necessarily going to see and follow. So it means that their captured audience is much, much, much smaller. So you can't necessarily do the things that the job opportunities are not like they are here. Here, you can get paid good, well, handsomely for doing almost anything as long as you're good at it. It doesn't matter what. You could be sleeping. You could be a professional sleeper. I go to hotels and sleep on their bed and get paid for it. Do you know what I mean? But these are not the kind of opportunities that they have. So because of that, they struggle. They want to live that lifestyle. They see the fancy cars. They see the the designer stuff and they want those kind of things. I've got cousins in the Caribbean who are telling me to send them Canada Goose coats.
What?
Yeah.
Hey.
And I'm like,
Do you know that cost £1,000?
I'm like,
Not even that. Canada
Brother,
Goose in the
brother.
Caribbean.
what do you need a Canada? Yeah, it gets cold in the morning. I'm like, the maths don't add up, but it makes perfect sense to them. Now, me as somebody from the UK, I'm like, you wear this thing when it's, 1 degree outside.
No way he didn't even work out the thing about the heat.
Temperature.
Yeah, it's money, bro. I'm like,
Money as well.
I'm thinking, what? Wait, you know, the heat? All right, you know what? Let me leave you alone.